Hello everyone, welcome to my project explanation video. Today I will be presenting my exploratory data analysis project on Google Play Store app reviews exploratory data analysis. The goal of this project is to understand the data, identify the key problems and extract meaningful insight that can help in making better decision making. So ADA is one of the most important step in data science because before building any machine learning model, we need to clean and understand the data properly. So here the project summary. Google Play Store is one of the latest mobile app distribution platform where we can see the data contain 1,22,000 plus records and 17 columns. The approach I used in doing this project, first of all, I load the dataset and then I clean data wrangling section. Then I create charts and give the proper business solution to the stakeholders. Here's my GitHub link to check my project related to Google Play Store app reviews. Here's the problem statement. The Google Play Store hosts the millions of mobile applications where we can see which categories and journeys dominate the Play Store and how they impact installs and the user reviews and give positive and negative reviews and check role does pricing free and paid play in driving download and engagement and do regular update improve app ratings and user satisfaction. The dataset contains more than 1,22,000 records and 17 attributes. Now my goal is to cover hidden pattern behind the app success and user satisfaction. Here's the business objectives. I analyze the top performing categories and genres and the highest rating and reviews and compare the free and paid apps and then I check the user reviews, give positive, negative and neutral to understand the user satisfaction level. Then I check the app size and update and also give the solution to the developer to give any app related to any category. Here's the guideline. Then I start the project. First of all, I import all the libraries related to this project. I installed NumPy libraries for numerical computation. I installed Pandas for data manipulation and Matplotlib for data visualization, Seaborn also for data data visualization, and now date and time also for data used for data in function. Here the I load the Play Store dataset and user reviews dataset, and I can merge the two CSV file using the inner join. And here the first five rows of the dataset. Now I check the shape of the dataset where we can see 1,22,662 rows and 17 columns. Here the data information where the app contain object means string type data and so on. And I check the duplicate value where we can see 81,001 duplicate values, and I check the null values where we can see rating have 40 null values, and here the second column 7 rows related to reviews where we can see the translated review sentiment and sentiment polarity and sentiment subjectivity are more than 40% null values. Here the percentage of the null values where we can see the more than 40% null values, and I visualize the missing values chart using the hitman where we can see the translated reviews, sentiment polarity, and sentiment subjectivity. Here the 40% null values. So first of all, data contains 1,22,662 records and 17 columns, and where we can see the columns like app, category, ratings, reviews, size, installs, type, price, content rating, and so on. Here the describe of the dataset where we can see the data for top unique values, frequency, mean, standard deviation, minimum IQR values 75%, 50%, and 25%, and max value. Here the data have variable description. Now we can check the unique values of each variable. Using for loop, here we can see the number of unique values of each variable. Now let's start the data wrangling section. First of all, I create a copy of the dataset and assign to the DF. Now my dataset name is DF, and check the null values where we can see the rating has 40 null values and translated reviews and sentiment subjectivity. So there are more than 40% null values. Now check the percentage of the null values. Let's start filling the null values. First of all, I check the rating column where we can see there are 40 null values, so that we can check. First of all, we can check the skewness of the column. Then then show the negative skew, indicate that the left is skew distribution. So I can use medium to fill the missing values. And now the last four column related to reviews, where we can see more than 40% null values, so that I can drop the missing values, because the sentiment related column, where we cannot use imputation method like mean, median, and mode to fill the values. So that I decided to drop the missing values. Now here the explanation related to why I don't use imputation method to reviews and sentiment column, because this column contains text and sentiment is derived from the data, and the reviews and sentiment cannot be guessed without introducing bias, so that I can drop the missing rows. Here we can check the duplicate rows, where we can see there are zero duplicate rows. Now I check the data type related to all columns. First of all, the install column, where we can see the string contain mm, to where we can see uh, the install column contain string data, so that we convert into the integer. Then where we can see the review column store the string value, so that we can also convert into the integer format. Now where we can see the price column contain the string special character, so that convert into the float. First of all, remove the currency symbol and spaces commas, then replace empty string with the nan, and convert into the float values. Here's the main problem with the data set, where we can see the app size column, where we can see that there are three main type of values. First of all, MBs and KBs, and a string format varies with the device, so that we can create, so that they can create the problem for related to kind of create any chart. So that I use first of all drop the rows where we can see the string related to various devices, and now I convert KBs to MBs and convert the data type into the float. Here's the last updated column are string, so that we convert into the date time column, and convert sentiment column to float. And here we can add two more extra columns, the year column and the month column from the last updated columns. Here the imputation method manipulation that I use for EDA. First of all, create a copy of data set handling missing values, then remove the duplicate, okay, and check the data convention, and also do feature engineering like the last column related to updated year. So I can extract two columns for month and year. And let's start the data visualization and storytelling. First of all, I create the histogram with KD because it clearly show the app rating are distributed. Here we can see the frequency of app, and here the rating or related to apps are between 4 to 4.7. The most of the people give rating to the apps near to 4 to 4.6. And now I create the distribution of app across categories. Here we can see the number of apps related to games are high, then family, and then dating, and here so on. The less related apps are related to comics, weather, and events, so on. Now let's create the third chart where we can see the app distribution by content rating. Here the set the number of apps related to everyone, and the teen related to nearly 2500, and mature 17 plus related to around 1500, and everyone 10 plus related to 1000, and adult only there is no app related to. Now we can see the fourth chart related to I pick the histogram for the app sizes. The most of the apps are in between 0 to 40. Here we can see, and some of the apps are nearly 40 to 60 and 80 and 100, so on. So there are most of the apps are nearly 0 to 40. Whether the user prefer lightweight apps, then I then I show the fifth chart trend of app updated by year. Here we can see in the year of 2017 to 18, the update are very high. The number of app updated. Here we can see the peak level in 2018. Now let's say the price distribution of apps, where we can see the app will free apps are zero, and the paid apps give the paid apps price are nearly to $5. And now check the rating distribution by app type, where we can see the outliers in the free apps, and the rating is nearly 4.3, around 4.3, and pets are rating are nearly 4.2 to 4.3. Now let's create the next chart where we can see the relationship between app size and the number of reviews, where where we can see the most of that app related to most of that, where we can see 0 to 40 are more than reviews, so that the most of the app in between 0 to 40 are more ratings. Then I created the new chart. Here we can see the number of free and paid apps, where we can see the free apps are nearly to 25,000, where we can see the paid of very less. And here the pie chart, so that we can see the 40% of apps are related to games, and then the 14.9% apps are related to family, then so on. And also the percentage distribution of app reviews and sentiment, where we can see the 60.3% user give the positive review, and 24.5% give the negative, and 12.2% are give neutral reviews. Now we can see the negative, positive, and neutral reviews in the each year, where we can see in 2018 the positive reviews are increases, and the negative is around 6,000. Now let's create the next chart, change in the average sentiment polarity of reviews over the year, where we can see the downfall in 2012, and here the peak level in 2013, and so on. Now let's create the other chart, sentiment distribution of app reviews over the year, where we can see the positive review related to in the year of 2018 is high, and the negative reviews is around 5,000. Now let's create the correlation sheet map. Why I choose this chart, because it clearly visualizes the correlation between the numerical value where we can see the rating, review size, install, and price are correlated with each other. Now we can create the pair chart where we can see the relationship between each variable and check the outlier also. Now, what the business of solution of the business objective? Here we can see the nearly 40% of apps related to games, and then the family and lifestyle apps, and where we can say develop more focus on the gaming category, family and lifestyle apps. And now the user gives 63% user review, but positive reviews, and 24% negative reviews that give the positive impact on which, because most of the customer give the positive reviews. And and now the most of the user prefer lightweight app and regularly updated, so that the user can developer can make the lightweight apps. And also we can see the most of the apps are free, and now the developer can make the app free, and developer can generate the revenue by adding ads and in purchase and subscription model, and that targeted of widest audience with everyone with the largest content rating groups. Now we can see the conclusion of the project, where we can see the most of the category related to games, family and lifestyle, and user can prefer the lightweight apps and frequency apps, and most of the user, nearly 66% user give the positive app reviews, so that here, and most of the user give 4 to 4.6 rating to apps, so that give the positive business impact. Now, now I completed this project. Thank you.